Well, good afternoon. The Board of Trustees of the Harris County Department of Education are now convening a board meeting on Wednesday, August 15, 2018, in the boardroom at 6300 Irvington Boulevard, Houston, Texas, at 1:10 p.m. I wish to extend a warm welcome to everyone present in this meeting of the Board of Trustees. As trustees, we're here to set goals, listen to reports from the superintendent, approve budgets, contracts, personnel appointments, and make policy for the district. It is not the role of the board to make day-to-day operational decisions. The management and day-to-day operations of the department are the responsibility of the superintendent. We have policies and procedures in place to resolve concerns and issues. This is a public meeting of the Board of Trustees, not a meeting of the public. Prior to this meeting, board members received information related to items on today's agenda. Agenda items will not necessarily be handled in the order listed on the notice. The meeting is open to all who wish to attend and hear the matters discussed. During the course of this meeting, the board may determine that a closed session is necessary. In that event, the board will meet in a closed session to consider matters duly posted for this meeting as permitted by section 551.071 to 551.084, inclusive of the Texas Government Code. I respectfully ask that you please refrain from talking while others are speaking and that cell phones are turned off or in silent mode. Thank you for taking the time today to join us and for your interest in the Harris County Department of Education. We will start with the invocation. Victor Keys is the principal of Academic and Behavior School West. Mr. Keys?
Cooksey.
Cooksey?
Cooksey. Volunteer me.
Says Keys. I'm reading from the script here. It says Keys. So, Mr. Cooksey, if you're the one, I apologize.
That's all right, sir. I am the one. May we bow. Dear Heavenly Father, we are grateful and thankful for this day and all that it will bring. We thank you for the capacities in which you've allowed us to serve and function in. We pray that all we do and all we say will bring glory to your name. As we approach this new school year, we pray for our students and our staff, that we remain safe. We pray that all that's done in the classrooms are done to the benefit of our kids. We thank you for the success of this school year. We thank you for the excellence of this school year. We thank you that we will be victorious. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Well, Mr. Cooksey, I have you as going to do the flag as the Pledge of Allegiance, so I guess Mr. Keys is doing that.
That's the pastor, that's the soldier.
Okay. You know, I'm good with either one of them. I'm just going with the tell me here.
Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Marion Cooksey did the invocation, and Victor Keys did our pledges to the flags. We have visitors here. We have Andrea Duhan, she is a board candidate. And Danny Norris, he's also a board candidate. Welcome. And then we have two people who are wishing to address the board. Ms. Vera, looks like you're up first.
Good afternoon. My name is Colleen Vera, and I'm a taxpayer and retired teacher. I wanted to comment on item 7F, which you guys discussed in your committee meeting. First of all, I actually agreed for the first time, I think, with Trustee Carter that spending $100,000 in administration to distribute $500,000 is pretty insane. It appears to me that what you're doing is just finding a new way to fund a director of the foundation, because your foundation fell apart when you quit funding it. It also bothers me terribly that mentioned in this meeting that one of the sponsorships ideas was to take our tax money and put it as sponsorships in golf tournaments put on by other foundations and buying tables and stuff at their events. I don't think that's what people work hard for their money for, and give it, they forced to give it to you in tax dollars and then for you to go and distribute it to the foundations that you find are valuable. The other thing in scholarships, I'm concerned that you're going to take that scholarship money and make Fortis Academy scholarships so that you can find a way to fill the school. And I have an idea for you, because I don't come from a teacher. We learned great ways of doing everything cheap in schools. But instead of spending $100,000 on administration, you could have the 10 people that you have employed at Fortis Academy who only have 2 students, and they could take on the responsibility of distributing that $500,000 and in their spare time. Thank you.
You're also up to talk to us.
Thank you. My name's Dave Wilson, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak to the board. I wanted to speak about agenda item number 8C that is listed under the executive session. The title is Deliberate the Duties of Public Officers, including Board Governance. And I would like to request that the board move that into the open session. I can't see, I think that's something that the public has a keen interest in. And there may be some portions that should be covered under executive session based upon these sections that are mentioned, but and I have no objection with those being covered in executive session, but I would hope that the majority of the discussion, the board would see fit to move that into the open discussion so that the taxpayers could see what's being discussed. Thank you so much.
Okay, we have our superintendent monthly report, James Colbert Jr.
Thank you, Mr. President. First wanted to acknowledge and congratulate Dr. Carruthers. She's going to be part of our executive leadership team moving forward. Let's give her a hand. Don't clap too hard. She's on probation for a while, so no. We're excited about that, and moving forward, we're going to try to give many of our directors who are on the leadership team an opportunity to be on the executive leadership team, and so eventually we'll establish a rotation with that. I also want to acknowledge today we're going to get a presentation from some of our campus leaders of our 4 special schools. Dr. Mays has done an excellent job this year in leading them. Just recently, they've completed a 3-day leadership summit that consisted of all the administration on each of our campuses. We are getting ready for a school to start, and so it starts at the top. And so certainly I think our principals set the standard for what we expect out of our employees at HCDE. The school year is actually different this year. For the first time in my 24 years in being a public educator, many school districts started last week. Some are starting this week, some are starting next week, some are starting the week after. This is a byproduct of an initiative that the state has established where we have school districts of innovation, and they can pretty much choose their starting date. Many superintendents have decided to embed more days in their school year. And so it's kind of thrown everybody off. I was talking to a group of superintendents last Friday, and all 3 of them were starting on different days. So it's a little bit different. Finally, we have convocation next week. August 23rd on Thursday, and certainly I wanted to extend an invitation to all of our board members. I really, really, really would like our board members to attend that. I think it is powerful and impactful, not so much of anything that I would say, but just having every single employee that you represent be in one venue. It is an opportunity for fellowship, and maybe that's the bulk of it. It's an opportunity to celebrate not only our employees, our successes, our vision, but it's also an opportunity for us to just gear up and get ready for students being back in buildings. Many of our employees could work many different places, but they choose to work for us. They choose to be public servants, and this is very consistent with why our board is here today. And so I think it's important for them to see you and know that you appreciate them, and for them to appreciate you. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Annual update on the HCDE Schools Division, Anthony Mays.
So everybody should have a copy up there of the presentation that's going to be given today. But before we begin the presentation, I would like for those of you that are here from the schools division to please stand. Thank you. And so that just represents a small portion of our team. Of course, all of our teachers are back in the building. We did open up with 2 days of professional development yesterday, but the leadership team is here today to represent. And so I won't go over our board goals, but just know that all of the pieces that are shared with you are aligned with our board goals. Our mission, partnering with Harris County School District to provide educational programs for students identified with behavioral, emotional, intellectual, or developmental disabilities. And so that's what we do every day. Within the schools division, we have our core set of goals: provide and maintain a safe and secure learning environment, ensure high quality instruction in every classroom, and maintain a commitment to excellence. So who are we? We serve students, again, who are intellectually, developmentally, and behaviorally challenged, physically disabled, and who are on the autistic spectrum. Schools provide alternative paths for students from 26 school districts and charter schools in Harris County and 11 other counties. Again, myself, I am Anthony Mays, Senior Director of Schools. My right hand, who's here, sitting in the back, is Brenda Mullen. She's the Director of Curriculum and Compliance. We also have 2 integral parts to our team that may not be in the audience, but they also make everything move, and that's Ms. Alamos and Ms. Jack. Our leaders for our campuses: Mr. Cooksey leads our High Point School East, Dr. Moden leads Fortis Academy, Dr. Victor Keys leads AB West, and again, Keith Oliphant, if you don't mind standing, is our new principal at AB East. And so this year we did serve 724 students, and that is for the fiscal year 2017-2018. Just a few facts. Again, you can see our rates. I won't go through all of those, but you can kind of see those prices have been pretty standard for the last 4 or 5 years. Dr. Mesqua and I are in conversation about how we can change that, or how we need to adjust that based on some of the changes that have come our way. And so this is, again, the number of contracts by campus for the fiscal year 2017 and 2018. And you can see on each one of those campuses, we did experience a slight increase. And so here is the revenue. And so what I would point out is that last column is the year to date, so it does not include August. And so it may look like a decline, but again, there's some revenue that haven't been accounted for within that bar graph. And so again, this is our total revenue. You can get a sense of how much is generated from our contracts with all of the county schools that we work with for each county. And this is projected for the 2018-2019 academic year, based on what we've collected so far. Again, these are all the districts we serve. You can get a sense of, again, how vast the area of need is for the students that we serve. Those students come from all over, not just Harris County, but again, 11 counties outside. This year we did get a chance to kick off our celebration of our Teacher of the Year, Joanna Lee, and this is in line with goal number 2, recruit and maintain high quality professional development, recruit quality professional staff. And so again, we want to make sure that we have a climate and culture that supports professionalism and celebrates and recognizes our HCDE educators. And so this was our first year doing that, but definitely not our last. We are in transition from PDOS to T-TEST, which is a different evaluation system for teachers. And so again, this gives our principals as well as our teachers some clear criteria for what it takes to meet the needs of our students that we serve. An additional staff member that we have on board that's going to be an integral part to supporting our teachers that meet the needs of students that are on the autistic spectrum is our behavioral specialist. And so that behavioral specialist will be responsible for direct teacher classroom coaching to help meet the needs of students with autism, as well as providing professional development and applied behavior analysis and classroom implementation and she's also a big part of reviewing student data for regular staffing of high-need students. And so some of the pieces that we use to support our campuses and our teachers to make sure that everybody is successful is each campus does have a licensed specialist in school psychology. We have certified counselors on each campus, transition specialists who help students who are in the process of moving from our campuses back successfully to their home campuses. And then, of course, our behavior specialist who also supports the teachers and the principals. Some of the programs that we use to support our students are, of course, Love and Logic, Boys Town. We also have CPR trainers. And then also we've been partnering with Mental Health of America as recently as last year. And so again, each one of those programs are programs that are foundational to meeting the needs of our students on our campuses and equipping them with the tools that they need to successfully go back into the public school system and be able to function appropriately. Campus-based instructional support, because again, while our program does meet several needs, behavior is one component, instruction is the other. Administrators as instructional leaders, again, we've spent the last year working on and deliberating on meeting those needs. Curriculum and compliance director, behavior specialist, professional development with the University of Houston and Texas A&M University. Those have been new partners that we brought on this year that have been integral in helping engage us in some of the newest practices as it relates to students with autism or behavior. And so another piece that we were able to add this year to support our campuses in the secondary classroom for some of our students that are larger, each campus, each of the AB campuses we were able to add 2 additional TAs to support, again, those secondary classrooms on our AB campuses. Thank you, Dr. Meskel. Investing in our teacher and classroom practice. So special schools aides, again, did receive a $3,000 equity adjustment to improve special school assistance in the classroom. And again, other staff also was able to receive a 3% raise. And these are just some of the pieces that we were able to accomplish this year within this academic year. One of the newest pieces that we were able to add was a girls mentoring program for our young ladies on the High Point campus. And we also were able to take the students at High Point out on a college tour. We don't want our students at High Point to forget that college readiness is still a priority for us. So those students did go out on a first tour. I know Mr. Cooksey was pretty nervous about that, but they did go out and they were able to participate. For 2018, 2019, we do want to add our paraprofessional of the year because we know that our paraprofessionals or our educational aides are a pretty critical piece to what we do in the classroom. And so beyond celebrating our teacher of the year, we also want to recognize them. We also plan on offering parent courses in autism to share with them some of the things that they can do at home to help us as we support the needs of their students here at school. We're also working on Mr. Cooksey's campus at High Point to develop a pipe fitting program because while students are there between 45 and 90 days, there's still time there to work with our adult ed program to give them an opportunity to earn some critical job skills that they can take with them as they leave us. Another component that we added to High Point was Education Opens Doors at High Point, which is a college-going curriculum. And so, again, this is just something that helps the students to learn, step by step, what you need to do to be successful at that next level. Another component is addressing social emotional needs through counseling groups at the High Point campus, and that's for our 2018-2019 year. Some more accomplishments, the opening of Fortis Academy in the upcoming year, our partnership with Texas A&M University for teacher training, targeting vocational education. Again, we are in the infant stages of that, but so far we've had a great kickoff to that with Texas A&M making a presentation to all of our teachers on yesterday. Our partnership with the University of Houston for additional teacher and administrator training has also been a success. That picture up there is actually one of the individuals, Dr. Kolpeck, who toured our AB West campus. She knows our campuses pretty intimately, not just as a professor at U of H, but also as a practitioner who utilized our services when she was in the district. We are also currently working on a program at Mac and Shores, which Dr. Meskel will elaborate on. And then that is our schools division. And so thank you all for our presentation today.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you so much for this information. I'd like to wish you a great start to your school year. You're where the rubber meets the road, and we're proud to support you by approving funds for you to do that. I did have a question about the district, slide 14, about how many of these are going to be re-upping or continuing on with you this coming year? Because there are the students you were serving, but these are also our clients' actual districts. So
Correct.
can you give us that information?
I can't give you with specificity. I can tell you that we've actually added clients this year as far as, again, charter schools that we serve. But I could get back to you with more details exactly if we've lost any. But to date, I can't say that we have lost any business as it relates to our AB campuses or High Point. Now, numbers have decreased at High Point with 2 districts just with the budget constraints, but nobody's completely, disregarded the services for our campuses.
So how many students do you have at Fortis? I know Ms. Vera mentioned you had 2, and on this slide 13 shows 30. So how many do we have?
So that is projected numbers for 2018. Our goal is for those 30 students to be in those seats. At this point, we have 6 commitments for Fortis Academy, but we're still working and meeting with campuses daily who are interested in taking advantage of Fortis Academy.
When do students come to your campuses?
August 27th. Yes, 27th.
27th?
Yes, sir, 27th.
So what about the school districts that have already started? They're not coming to you yet?
No, not at this point. Because we're not, again, a school district, we could not apply for the District of Innovation grant, so we stuck to the normal date of the last week in August, August 27th.
So even though they may have already started, we're not going to accept them until the 27th?
Correct.
Okay.
I've got a question. Says we served 724 students in the last year. What's the most we serve at any one time? They used to be about 300, but I'm guessing it's more now.
So this is for the fiscal year 2017, 2018, and so some of those students we may have seen multiple times, and so the number could be higher, but 724 is that the student enrollment on an individual basis. But you may have one student that could have come
I'm just asking, what's the most we serve at any one time?
at any one time.
I think he's asking, what is your unduplicated head count?
For this fiscal year is 724.
That's unduplicated.
Yes, unduplicated.
No,
It's
well, I'm asking at any one time, not total.
So are you asking total capacity?
I got that, Mr.
Okay,
Mason.
go ahead.
Yeah, typically the enrollment on a daily basis is about 500 students.
So it's gone from about 300 to 500.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Anybody else? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Saunders, report of the Board Feasibility Subcommittee.
I really don't have anything to report this month. All the construction that we've previously talked about is proceeding. So at some point in time, the new AB West campus will be open, and Fortis is ready to receive students at this time.
We've got other reports from board members. I would like to wish you guys all the best at the convocation. Unfortunately, Thursday mornings, I'm tied up, so I will not be able to join you, but others may be able to. Mr. Sump, you wanted to introduce?
Sure. So we've got
We have a new employee. Mr. Dick is going to introduce our new employee.
Sure. So we have a new employee for the Department of Education, Melissa Smith. We're very happy that you've joined us, and we look forward to you working with us.
Would you like to tell everybody her title?
Tell her what her title is, yeah.
Sure. So you're she knows, everyone knows she's the board secretary, but I imagine other people that aren't I guess sitting on this horseshoe don't know. But we hired Melissa Smith as the board secretary. Carla's moving on, though she did a fantastic job. She's going a different path. So
Well, she's staying with the department.
she's staying with the. Okay.
We're not kicking her out the door.
Carla's like, where am I going?
We love you, Carla. Please don't leave.
You wonder why they don't let me talk. This is why they don't let me talk.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to
Carla
say.
stayed with the department. She has been, since I've been around, gosh, almost 12 years or so. She's been taking care of the board, and a lot of her duties have grown and a lot of things are happening. So we now have Melissa's going to be tasked with trying to take care of the board, and Carla gets a reprieve for a little bit, but she'll still be there, and she's going to make sure Melissa gets to do everything she does. But I would like to say thank you for Carla for everything you've done for us.
I recently attended the Harris County Precinct 1 Street Olympics, and I was surprised that the Department of Education isn't involved in that. And when I was there, I talked to Commissioner Ellis, and he said he wanted to talk with us about that. So that's been going on for 30-something years, I think, starting under Commissioner L. Franco Lee.
I've talked with the superintendent about that. That's some of the things, as Ms. Vera had mentioned, some of those things we would like to do with the community, but it costs money, so that we're in a quandary of do we spend money to how we do things. So that's something we're trying to figure out. We're hoping our education foundation gets going. We're able to fund money, do things like that through the foundation and not through taxpayers' money.
Well,
Yes,
we
ma'am.
could still have a representation there without even, yeah.
Oh, okay,
I mean, we could attend at least.
okay. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I would just like to thank Jamie Salinas and his team in technology for all their help in guiding me and introducing me to Skype for the last month. I also am very excited and look forward to attending this year's convocation.
Yeah, we would like to welcome our two travelers back into, to the board, so. Well, it is kind of nice to actually have all of us sitting here in one spot, even though you guys attended by electronic means. So, and we do thank the IT folks for making it all happen.
So now they can count towards a quorum when they're
Now we
attending.
can count them towards the quorum, that's right. All right, anybody else have anything to say? No? All right, monthly financial reports through 7/31 of 2018. Dr. Muskell, you're up.
Okay, you have copies of the report in your packet. The interim financial report as of July 31st and also the budget amendment as of August 15. All our financials are posted on our website. Our balance sheet as of July 31st, we have $36,373,090 in assets, liabilities of $1,888,960, and fund equity and appropriations of $36,373,090. Our fund balance projected is at $28,122,487. We have non-spendable, restricted, committed, unassigned, and assigned fund balance, and the amounts are listed there. Later on in the agenda, you'll hear the projection for GASB 54 as part of an agenda item. Our financial ratios for the month, we are at percent to fund balance ratio for expenditures. We're at 38% versus last year of 32. Working capital ratio, we're at 34 million versus 32 million last year. Unassigned fund balance ratio, we're at 45%, the same as last year at the same time. Debt to income ratio, 7% this year versus 8% last year. Tax revenue to total revenue ratio, we're at 27% versus 23% last year. Indirect cost to tax ratio, we're at 3%, up from last year that was at 2% at the same time. Our fee-for-service ratio, we're at 24%, up 3% from last year. Fee-for-service revenue growth, we're flat right now. Last year it was 8%. Keep in mind some of the Harvey revenues that were impacted, so we're kind of flat, and so in a way that's good news at this point in time. Our budgeted activity, that's listed all the fund balance, all the amendments that have been made each month. Revenues, we're at 93% of our revenue billed and received. Special revenue funds, 49%. So overall, we're at 73% of revenue, which is 83,240,166. And our budget as amended for grants and general fund, by month, and we're at July 113 million versus 129 million in appropriations. Our expenditures, we're at 75%. We should be at the 92% level, so we only have 1 month left to go. So overall, we're at 67% in terms of budget to actual in expenditures. Our donations report in kind for 2018, Year to date are $181,630.29. And primarily this month have been Head Start donations, Case for Kids. Our values for, as of July, we're at $435 billion. $434 billion has been certified, and we still have $1 billion pending. And so our values from the appraisal district, we're still pending receipt for the 2018 tax year. The collections year to date, we are at $22,226,355 in current. Delinquent tax, that's where there will be the refunds of $158,000, so that's actually negative of $16,988. P&I of $159,511, and assessments of $17,523. So we've collected 99% of the projected budget. Tax fees, or rather appraisal district fees, are $164,703, and the tax office fees are $443,389, so that the tax office can collect our taxes. Disbursements for the month were $3.3 million, 526 checks, 504 transactions, and 6 transfers. Our segment data, our educator certification, it's a benefit variance of negative $336,474. Records management, it's positive at $152,079. School-based therapy at $1,108,264 of subsidy, and schools of $1,854,434 in subsidy as well. Now, choice is at a benefit ratio of 62% and is going steady at $2,909,151, which is a benefit variance that's coming from choice to general fund at $2.9 million, almost $3 million from our enterprise fund to the general fund. Our amendments for the month in the general fund, we have $27,400 in educator certification to reduce revenues, decrease revenues and expenditures, and then therapy of $558,000. If you recall, early in the year, we had the Harvey event, and we were not able to service some of our clients during last August. And so we're reducing the revenue and reducing the expenditure from the budget, so there's an equal reduction in the therapy services division. Early Head Start, increased revenues and expenditures in the grant, $33,500, and then some decreases that we're not going to be realized of adult ed, $281,202, and then revenues decrease in expenditures in Early Head Start, or $415,695. And then Choice Partners, a increase in revenue of $700,000 projected for the year. Construction, we still have the same amount available with the exception of additional interest for July. So generally we have right now $10,858,351 in our PFC bond series. We did not have a PFC meeting this month, but this is the amount that's available for appropriation. And we're in the process of issuing the competitive seal proposal, and so it should go out here in the next week or so on the street. Any questions on the first part of the financial report? Okay. The second part is our investments. And again, interest rates continue to rise. As of July 31st, our portfolio is $43,956,014, of which $10,858,351 is Public Facilities Corporation. The majority is in TechStar, TechSpool, Lone Star Pool, and Chase. 87% is in the pools, and 13% is a market fund sweep. 97% and 2% out of the PFC, it's in TechSpool. from a year ago, our portfolio is 1,484,240, or 3% higher than a year ago. Everything pretty much is overnight that we can access. We're maintaining our funds short as we climb our interest rate. We have earned year-to-date $373,110 for HCDE, and the PFC $123,156. We're earning 1.89%, and you can see the climb of the rates from a year ago, almost 1.5 basis points from a year ago. Questions on the investment report? Okay, thank you.
Thanks, sir. Okay, next item is consensus. Do I have a motion, or do I have any reserve first? Do I have any? Anything that needs to be reserved? Yes, sir.
I'd like to pull E1 and E3, please.
E1 and E3. Okay, anybody else? Anybody else? All right, hearing that, or hearing nothing else, do I have a motion for the consensus items?
So moved.
Do I have a second? I have a second. I have a motion by trustee Dick. I have a second by trustee Troutman. Hadn't seen you such a long time. I had to think about it for a second. All right. Any discussion? We've already, anything? Yes, ma'am.
I may have missed something. I thought some meeting minutes were going to be, we had a special meeting about a position, and I thought there was going to be a note added, and we were going to re-vote on those minutes.
I think that was done.
We all did that at one time. It didn't have to be reprinted. Okay, that's what I was confused. Thank you.
Okay, all in favor, please raise your hand. All opposed? Abstaining? So we have 6-4, 1 abstention. So, Don, do you want us to consider E1 and E3 together or separately? Separately. Okay. Do I have a motion on E1, please? Do I have a motion on E1?
So moved.
Got a motion by trustee Dick, and I have a second? Got a second by trustee Carter. Do I have any discussion?
I'd like for someone to just give a brief report on the results of the Houston Urban Debate League, how it is progressing, and is this the $380,000 that we spent this last year that we're talking about renewing?
So the Houston Urban Debate League is a community partner, and so they are bidding with these other collaborators. We do work with them in part to host the Case Debates initiative. And so this year we had 10 campuses that participated and over 180 students. We hosted 2 tournaments and 2 seminars, and then competed in a citywide culminating event. 2 of our students from A-Leaf took second place in the policy division, and the Houston Urban Debate League sponsored them to go to nationals, to participate in the nationals competition. So our relationship through the bid process is only one piece of that project. So Huddle does not receive that amount of money. That amount of money goes to making the teacher stipends possible, the materials, the space rental, and it stays inside Harris County Department of Education. Huddle does get a smaller scale contract for judges and helping coordinating in this first year so that we could learn the ways, but we now have a staff that is learning the ways. So the Huddle contract will be smaller this second year.
Okay, can you explain to me what the issues division is?
The what division?
Didn't you say that there was 2 A-Leaf students that?
Yes, that were able to participate in the finals.
And they participated in which division?
They participated in the national, so they won the policy.
I mean, here
tournament.
locally.
Mm-hmm.
Now, which division were they in?
They were in, so in debate, we hosted two types of debate, policy and worlds. And so they won inside their policy division.
Okay, and what
Meaning
is the policy division?
It means that students learn how to debate on, it's a certain form of debate that requires preparation around policy issues. So the policies issues are coming out of the National Debate League. And so this past year's theme was educational reform. And so they researched policy issues that relate to educational reform. There is a structured format. They get a 2-minute presentation, a rebuttal from the other team, and then they go back and forth. It's a whole 7 minutes experience. And is that the right answer?
Can you give me an example of what policy issues that they might have debated in educational reform?
Well, it really depends on the student, and so what they do is they take the broader educational reform issue, and each student team does its own research and makes presentations. And depending on the opposing team, the argument will prevail. And so I'm happy to share any there are guidelines and curriculum that are related to that, and I can send that to the board.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? All in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, motion passes unanimously. Okay, E3, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Got a motion by trustee Dick. Do I have a second? I'll second it. Do I have any discussion?
Well, I was going to say, I think part of E3 should be moved into executive session for legal advice.
That was my motion also.
The part regarding the law firm payment.
So do we have maybe we're moving to separate out the?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, I'm not wanting to separate it all because part of my question has to do with all of it.
So we want to move the whole thing to executive session for legal advice.
Well, I think we had just moved consideration of this until after we get our legal advice in executive session.
All right. No, I'm okay with that.
I'm fine with that.
I'm okay. So for right now, we're going to talk to the attorney, and then we'll revisit this after our session. But just so I don't know what questions Don has, but I have questions from the standpoint of where these people were told not to have over $50,000 in original contract, but now we're not going to exceed $11,500,000. So whoever has those numbers, I'm going to ask questions, because 50 to 11 million, that's a lot. Okay. All right. F, acceptance of kids totaling $1.5 million from the Texas Education Agency for a case for kids cycle 10, year 1, 21st century.
Did we not already vote on that?
Oh, never mind. Yeah.
That's okay.
You're on 7.
I'm on 7. Okay, action items non-consensus. Okay, 7A, consider possible action of certification of the anticipated debt collection rate for the tax year 2018. Do I have a motion? Got a motion by trustee Troutman, right?
Second.
Second by trustee Wolf. Do I have any discussion?
I'd like for Dr. Mesqua to just explain what we're talking about here.
Yes, this is a letter from the tax assessor collector where they provide information that goes into the template to calculate the effective tax rate. So this is the anticipated collection rate for the year. It's 98.98 for 2018. There are no debt collections because we don't have an INS rate. And the refunds that we were refunded in tax year 2017 were $458,834.69. Those pieces of data will include in the effective tax rate and also assigning the Harris County office to calculate the effective tax rate, and then we'll bring that to you at the next board meeting once we receive that.
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Mesqua, can you please describe more in regular, for me, what exactly is excess 2017 debt tax collection?
Right. Most districts have two tax rates. They have the general fund operating tax rate and also the debt service tax rate. HCD does not have a debt rate, so we only have a maintenance and operation tax rate, which is the general fund, and that's the one that you adopt once a year. And so most districts or school districts or local governments may have those two. We don't have that, so that's why it says zero debt rate or collection rate.
Anybody else? Okay, 7A, all in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes unanimously. Okay, consider approval of estimated reserve fund balance for non-spendable restricted government assigned and unassigned under the Government Accounting Standards Board, GASB 54. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Got a motion? Second. Got a second by Mr. Sumner, motion by Mr. Dick. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes unanimously. Okay, 7C, consider approval of contract with PS Lightwave, contract number 15/006M16 to provide data services to all HCDE locations in the amount not to exceed $97,000 for the period of 9/1/18 to 8/31/19. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Dick. I'll second it. Do I have any discussion? Yes, ma'am.
Yes. I would like to know a few more details than what's provided in our book about what this is, and is this an annual? Yeah, whoever can tell me a few more details about. We approve a lot for technology, and I usually like to know exactly what this is being used for.
I'll tell you what I can. Nate would normally be the one who answers those questions, but he's not able to be here today.
So this is our new technology director. Introduce yourself.
Oh, hi, I'm Lowell Ballard. Thanks for voting for me a few weeks ago.
So you get to be introduced to us by baptism of fire.
Oh, yep, started on Monday. So. But I'll answer what questions I can. I did read through the contract.
Is this the new phone system?
I just want to know, broad data services is just a catch-all word. Can you be more specific what that means?
Sure. It's network services between the various sites for all both any services that go between the sites and out to the internet would go over those connections. It's Ethernet service for those of you who know what that is. The different speeds, it's 5 megabits per second, at some sites 10, and then up to 1 gigabit per second here as far as the speeds.
Well, basically, it's internet services.
Ure, yes. And services between
Let's
the
get it
sites.
down to where we all understand.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. You
Internet
talk
services.
about gigs and speeds and whatnot, just, it's internet services, right?
Yes, that
Gotcha.
is correct.
And is this more or less than last year? Because I see we've used them previously.
Yes, this is the amount, this is a renewal for the year, and because it's over 50,000, it has to come before the board. It's $97,000 for a year. And it includes locations as Fortis, Ibon East, Head Start Centers, Irvington, and the other locations as well.
Any other question?
I've got a question.
Yes, sir.
Why does the agenda item say PS Lightwave and the contract says Phonoscope Lightwave?
My guess is PS.
Yeah,
So I was
Phonoscope
discussing.
is PS, Lightwave.
I've always noticed it saying Phonoscope in the past. But in fact, Lewis just said the new Phonoscope.
All right, it's phonoscope basically, right? Okay. They're one and the same.
Yeah, the contract is Phonoscope Lightwave Inc. That's the title of the contract.
Okay. Anybody else? Very nice to meet you, sir. If we need you, we'll call you.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
All right.
Is that the same as don't call us, we'll call you?
We're always open. We have an open door policy here. All right, so all in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, motion passes unanimously. Okay, 7D, consider approval of service agreement between Harris County Department of Education and Capsule Tech LLC. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
A motion by Mr. Dick.
Second.
Got a second by Mr. Wolf. Do I have any discussion? Okay, all in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes unanimously. Okay, I got 7E. Consider approval to increase the allowable contract amount under CH Local FY 2018 from 75 to 200,000, an increase of 125 with Scholastic Inc.
So moved.
Got a motion by Mr. Dick. Do I have a second? A second by Trustee Carter. Do I have any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes unanimously. Do I have a motion on 7F?
I think we were removing
Mrs.
that.
Gonna
Chair, I
remove
would
it?
ask that we remove that for a future board meeting.
Okay, so we're going to remove 7F from the agenda. Okay? All right, so we're going to go into executive session under the Texas Government Code pursuant to any and all purposes permitted by sections 551.001 through 551.084, including but not limited to 551.071 and 551.074. It is now 2:02. We are adjourned. It is now 3:30. We have resumed from executive session. And I guess the first thing we'll look at is E3. So do I have a motion on E3?
So moved.
I got a motion by Trustee Carter. Do I have a second? Mr. George Moore?
Yes.
Did you second it?
Yes, sir, I
Okay, so
did.
I have a Trustee Moore also seconds. Do I have any discussion? Hearing no discussion, let's have a vote. All in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, all opposed? All abstaining. So I have 5-4, 1 opposed, 1 abstain. Okay, so we're going to, where am I at? Director of Construction. Do I have a motion? Trustee Troutman, do I have a second?
Second.
Got a second by Trustee Dick. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. All opposed? All abstaining? Okay, so we passed it unanimously. I had to think about it. That's right. That's okay. Okay, let's see. Oh, here's none. And so we're going to consider action regarding compensation of the principal of AB School East. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Sorry.
Oh,
Read the motion.
Mr. Summers. Sorry.
okay.
Okay, I move to authorize Mr. Colbert or his designee to take action regarding the compensation of the principal of AB School East as discussed in executive session, and to find that the public purposes of avoiding additional costs to HCDE and supporting employee morale are served by such action.
A second. Okay, what about the motion that Mr. Dick did? We're going to rescind that one? Okay, he withdrew it. Then I got a motion by Mr. Sumners, and I got a second by Dr. Troutman, correct? Okay. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes unanimously. And I think, any other motions we have?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor? It's 3:35. We're out of here.